Now we all know to some degree WWE is scripted. However, there are moments where wrestlers cannot remember the story, script, or action they are meant to perform that the creative director has told them. Who's the creative director, you may ask?
I enjoy destroying lives.
Yeah, you don't want to make him angry, because if you do, your career is buried, or even worse, you're blacklisted. For example, starting this list is CM Punk, going off script in 2011, and he delivered an unfiltered rant against WWE management and the state of professional wrestling.
This right here is my favorite thing.
The now infamous pipe bomb garnered immense attention and became a defining moment in WWE history. What makes going off script so exhilarating to us fans is the perfect combination of authenticity and creativity. When a wrestler breaks away from the planned dialogue and actions, it injects a surge of unpredictability into the show. Suddenly, anything can happen. Going off script allows wrestlers to tap into their true emotions, delivering performances that feel genuine and relatable. However, CM Punk has had several moments of him going off script, but in this case, it was WWE that had decided to have a dig at him. Ever since his exit from the company back in 2014, it never sat well with the fans. For years, they chanted his name, showing their love and support for the man who made the product enjoyable again. But just because you're good at something doesn't mean you ace everything else. Nobody knows who gave CM Punk the idea that he could be the next Brock Lesnar, for example. When CM Punk entered the UFC and lost his debut fight in a matter of a few seconds, it's hard to say, but as a fan, it was kind of embarrassing. Remember his attempted spin kick? Even Joe Rogan stated,
"He doesn't have any talent. That's all it is."
But this wasn't the opinion of many fans, as it didn't stop the ripple effect in WWE. On the December 26, 2016 edition of WWE Raw, the city of Chicago chanted CM Punk at Stephanie McMahon, and she was quick to remind everyone of his embarrassing loss in an unscripted moment.
So if you guys could keep that up for about 2 minutes and 15 seconds, you'd last 1 second longer than Punk did.
From that moment on, CM Punk's name wasn't mentioned at all on TV, and the fire was put out swiftly with one line. However, in John Cena's case, when he mocked Roman Reigns for forgetting his line back in 2017, it was a moment to be remembered. We all knew John's time as the top guy in the company was coming to an end. It was only a matter of time before he was going to pass the torch to Roman Reigns, as he was positioned as the next face of the company. But he still struggled with cutting good promos. On the 28th August episode of Raw, Roman and John had a contract signing segment for their match at No Mercy. At one point, Roman actually forgot his lines. John was quick to let the dude know in an unscripted moment that he still needs to learn how to cut a decent promo.
It's called a promo, kid, and if you want to be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it, so go ahead. See ya, fourth wall!
Whilst Roman may have got the win at No Mercy, John revealed to the whole world that Roman wasn't ready to be the top guy just yet. But one wrestler who thought he was becoming the top guy was Braun Strowman, back when he was feuding with Brock Lesnar, who you could easily argue is one of the best sellers in the company, and he is known for making his opponents look good if he really wants to. But there was one incident where Braun Strowman got to know what it's like to face the real Brock. At the Royal Rumble event in 2018, Brock faced Braun and Kane in a triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Braun hit Brock in the face with a stiff knee, and Brock quickly reacted by delivering 2 brutal right hands to the face of Braun and told him,
"John caught Brock good, and Brock got him back."
When both wrestlers got backstage, there were a few harsh words exchanged, but both got over it rather quickly and laughed about it later on, if you know what I'm saying. But it was a kind reminder to everyone that Brock is not to be messed with. As for Batista and John Cena eliminating each other at Royal Rumble 2005, it will go down as one of the most bizarre endings to a Rumble ever to date. Both of them were slated to become world champions that year, and at the Royal Royal Rumble, Batista was booked to win the match and main event WrestleMania with Triple H. The original plan was to have Batista eliminate the runner-up John from the match without any hiccups. However, things didn't go as planned. Both of the men eliminated each other at the same time, with both feet touching the floor at the exact same moment. Something like this can never be replicated, as the superstar Edge said it best.
Crazy, they hit simultaneous. Like, you could not map that out any better.
What made this situation even worse was how furious Vince was when he came out, throwing his jacket on the floor, screaming at the referee, and just when he was about to enter the ring, bruh, he tore both his quads. A normal human being would have screamed in pain, but Vince handled it like a man. But the image of Vince barking orders at the refs and wrestlers to restart the match is a sight to be seen. This wasn't the only botched Royal Rumble moment, as The Rock also had a similar incident with The Big Show. He was meant to win with a rope maneuver, but it goes wrong with him touching the ground. However, this segment was completely saved when the script was twisted to address fans whom all knew the truth. Big Show would get the footage and create a feud with The Rock because of it. It truly was an unforgettable moment for the crowd, as they played a huge role in changing the script and making the match spectacular. But there can be times when crowds can shift your focus away from the action. For example, sometimes they play with beach balls during matches they're not interested in, or they just want to have some fun, right? One such match where beach balls were the most prevalent is when Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston wrestled Sheamus and Cesaro on Raw after WrestleMania 35. Fans were already on edge before the match since they had been robbed of a Kofi Kingston vs Seth Rollins encounter. All thanks to a run-in from the bar which set up the tag match, as they started chanting bullshit as the match started. During the commercial, the crowd brought out the first beach ball of the night, which was unsurprisingly confiscated by Cesaro. A second beach ball was also grabbed by him, where all of a sudden, "We want beach ball" chants could be heard after Raw returned from the commercial. Cesaro simply had enough of it, ripping 4 balls into shreds with his own hands. He wasn't told to do this. He made it clear that superstars aren't always going to support the crowd. He later explained in an interview why he hates them so much, as it takes away from the performances.
Hey, I'm not going to let that beach ball ruin my match. Like, you know, I was like, screw that beach ball. This is my match. Like, again, an organic moment that was authentic, that I was really mad.
The next unscripted moment comes from a backstage segment starring Matt Riddle, who portrays a carefree bro gimmick. We all know he often sounds high whenever he delivers a promo. However, there was one unscripted moment that made people wonder if the dude was actually stoned on live television. In a backstage segment on Raw in 2021, Matt was talking to another wrestler about, guess what? Scooters. The segment wasn't anything to go crazy over, but it became memorable for Matt actually forgetting his lines and just casually walking away. And to see the shocking look on Asuka's face, it was priceless. That's some gold live footage right there. Matt didn't get in any trouble because Vince and the people backstage viewed it as better than the actual script, as the entire segment fit the character Matt was portraying.
Yeah, you think? I'm sorry, I forgot what I was saying. That's not right.
So moving on from someone who forgets his lines to someone who doesn't give a damn about them, I would say only the main eventers can say something non-PG and get away with it. Remember this?
You must be sleeping under a rock or something.
What did he say?
You don't get to see superstars use explicit terms every week on WWE programming. Roman Reigns had a second unscripted moment with his heel run, with him being confident than ever in 2021. So he wasn't afraid to throw some shade at John Cena, who returned at Money in the Bank. Considering what we mentioned earlier in the video regarding 2017, After the Money in the Bank event on SmackDown, Roman was quick to acknowledge that we have seen the same John Cena ever since 2005. Words won't do this unscripted moment justice. Hear it out for yourself.
He came out here, the same music, the same entrance, the same run to the ring, the same outfit, the same promo. All I had to do was search online for 2005 John Cena.
Roman was sure that he wouldn't get in any trouble, and he even admitted in an interview with Sports Illustrated this.
The gimmick is as close to being real as possible, you know what I mean? So, I mean, even if they try to like say something to me, I wouldn't have cared anyways. What are you gonna do? Not have me on SmackDown next week?
But considering how far Roman has come in his promo skills, it doesn't really surprise us, since he's the cousin of The Rock at the end of the day, the greatest trash talker in WWE history. In a bizarre moment of Raw in 2012, someone told John Cena, the Great One, had written some notes of his promo on his wrist. So when John Cena came down to the ring, he improvised his promo and he made The Rock question his decision.
Just like I don't need my notes for my promo on my wrist.
He was taken aback, but John in a later interview explained that it was to elevate the feud further and always had the company's best interests at heart.
Some people might not have seen was it is supposed to be Michael Jordan, LeBron James, both in their prime. To do that in this scenario, you do not have to elevate The Rock. He is and always will be in his own universe. I don't have to give any more steam to that rocket. To make the billing, you need to elevate John.
Now, it's not often wrestlers try to break each other's characters, as it could kill the illusion, but Sami Zayn being added to the bloodline was the best decision the company made last year. Sami's weekly hilarious segments with Jey Uso were beloved by everyone, and you can make a whole video on all the character breaking moments, such as the high five moment where you can see Jey break character. However, there was one particular segment that made the bloodline go off the script. On the October 29th episode of SmackDown, Roman had enough of the continuous quarrel between Sami and Jey. Before Roman could have taught Jey a lesson, Sami stepped in and told Roman that Jey wasn't feeling Usi. All of the bloodline I'm laughing. Just think about it. All of the bloodline was supposed to remain serious throughout the segment, but Sami's hilarious delivery made everyone burst into laughter.
Lately, he just hasn't been very Usi.
The entire segment was gold, and the storyline was just getting started at this point. But in one man's case, he wasn't able to pull this off. I'm talking about Goldberg. When he made a surprise appearance in 2021 to confront Drew McIntyre and challenge him for the WWE Championship on Raw's Legend Night, the intention was for McIntyre to cut a promo on the legends who were standing on the stage at the time, and Goldberg had to come to defend them. However, due to time constraints, McIntyre wasn't able to even begin his promo, insulting the legends on stage, and Goldberg already made his way down to the ring, ladies and gentlemen. But instead of him going off script, where it would have been better to go off script, he decides not to and stick to the script, where he was unable to think on the fly and change the content of his words to match up with what just happened. Goldberg began stripping down McIntyre for disrespecting the legends, despite McIntyre not saying a single bad word. The whole segment was hilarious as it made no sense.
But that's not what you were thinking, because when you address these guys and girls, these legends up here, you look at them as a bunch of washed up, tired old men and women.
It is probably one of the few cases where going off script would have benefited everyone.
I'm blocking you. That was the dumbest shit I heard all day.
However, Goldberg has even more botches, more than you can even think about. If you want to learn why other WWE wrestlers don't like him, check out our next video on your screen right now.